Okay, here's the next side tracking project from all my other projects. It's a 1968 Mercury 65 horse outboard motor. This is off my boat, and the problem with it was that it was losing power last time we had it out. So much so that we couldn't get up on plane, and then we decided to cut our trip a little bit short, on the water at least. And what I found, just by doing some quick checks, was that cylinder number 4, see down there, there's another spark plug. Cylinder number 4 was low in compression, so it's running on 3 cylinders, and it just, dragging it down, and it just wasn't able to get up on plane the last time we had it out. So we have got to take a look at this. It being 1968, you got to consider what's really worth putting money into or not. But I'm going to take it apart, get an initial diagnostic check on it, and see if it's really worth fixing or not. It's a fun boat to have. So if I don't fix this motor, I very likely will get another one to put on there. But for now, this is the plan would be to fix this one, unless it's not fixable. So I'll update you a couple times as we go along here. Maybe today I'll have at least the cylinder head off of it, and I can see if there's a problem with the piston, which is what I really suspect. So I'll tune you in once we get to that point. Okay, getting things opened up here a little bit. Just getting ready to take off the cylinder head. I've removed all this housing here. Spark plugs are all out. I just stuck that in there just so you could see that's what the spark plugs were. And I'm now going to take out these bolts. I think I can get these ones down there. I can pull this cylinder head off, and then I can see what that number 4 piston down there looks like. And I'll get a shot here in a few minutes. All right, check it out. So we're working on this this boat motor. I've taken the power head out, so you can see down here kick the ladder here. The dry shaft goes down through to the bottom section, drives the propeller. Don't really intend to take any of that apart. And then over here, this right now, let's see, this is the top of the engine, so here's the bottom. Over here, you can see there's the reverse spline to what I just showed you there. And I think one of the last things I did, I was showing you how I was going to take off, I thought, the cylinder head. But as it turns out, this doesn't have a cylinder head. It's got water jacket. I can't really, hang on a second. There we go, water jackets. And you can see where the holes for the spark plugs came out. And I had a heck of a time getting apart where the water jacket cover came off. And most of the bolts broke. So I've got to extract all these bolts out now that they've been separated from that. That's another task. But I want to find out, of course, if this thing's really fixable first. So next job, the side view of this. So pistons go up and down this way. The crankcase here, you can see here's the lower part of the crankcase. Carburetor's mount on there. Fuel goes up this way, lubricates crankcase up into the engine with a 2-stroke cycle. So I'll update you once I get this apart a little further here. Maybe I'll get the pistons out today. I'm expecting to see number 4 piston coming apart is what I'm expecting to see. I've already seen some metal fragments that indicate that. Okay, so just discovery here as I'm taking things apart. I'm just getting ready to split the crankcase off here. I was taking out the bottom shaft bearing retainer, and as soon as I did, I started getting metal chunks. There's a piece right there that came out. And you look at the inside of this housing is all chewed up. If you look at there, there's a bearing failure. And I'm going to say right there, that's what caused this whole engine to fail. I'll confirm that as I take it apart. It could be a secondary failure, but initial thoughts are it's the primary, and I'll probably have some thoughts around that as I go here. Okay, check it out. We got a little further apart now. And I don't know if you can see in here. Not really. Cylinder scoring. Not too surprising when you see the piston over here in a second. So go back over here. See number 4 piston here to the right. That'd be this guy here, and you can see the scoring up and down on it. And then, of course, the failed bearing at the bottom, you know, because this guy was up in there. So here's what I think happened. So I found one broken reed valve right there. You see that it's got a piece broken off of it. I'm going to activate it from behind here. So there's a reed valve, and you can see that it's broken off. It should be like, let's see, I can get a different one here. Good one. Yeah, so there's a good reed valve. It's not broken. So I think that this reed valve broke first, and then the piece of metal went down, got into the bearing and chewed it up. And then once this started walking around, it took out the cylinder, and some of the metal started coming up here. I do believe that was the course of failure. So primary failed part, reed valve, secondary damage, piston, and bottom bearing. So now it's all going to depend on what parts are available here if I can fix this motor. If I can get oversized pistons and I can get a machine shop to machine that block over there, I get this light here, maybe you can see better. You machine those scores out of there. Maybe I can get maybe a 20 thou, 30 thou over piston, and you know, I do them all so they're balanced, and we can put this back together. But again, that depends on what parts are available, and so this project's on hold now until we find out if we can get parts. Okay, I've done a little bit more research here. I was doing some inspections on this, and I noticed the top of this piston. I kind of dismissed it just as a debris failure, but I got closer looking at it, and this is melted here. You can see it, especially down the side here, all this melting. So I did a little handy-dandy search on Google, and most common causes of piston top mounting or melting is air mixture too lean, number one. Well, if that's the case, number 3 piston would have had the similar problem because it shares the same carburetor. So I don't see that. Or it's a shaft seal failure that lets it suck air in the shaft. So this kind of supports what I initially thought. You know, the reed failure here, a piece fell down into the bearing, took out the bearing, let air in the shaft on the intake stroke. Intake stroke on the piston of a 2-stroke cycle is when the piston's going up. It sucks air in through underneath the piston, and then it works its way around. If you don't know, go look it up on the internet. And then it made it too lean, and then you get the heat, which took this out, particularly on the exhaust side. And let's just see, there's where all your melting is on this side of the flange. Let's go see if that mates up to the exhaust side of the block. So go over here. And so there's your intake side, because you can see the cross chamber. And then the exhaust side will be these ports over here. So let me think, I took this out. That was facing that way. And no, so that would be on the intake side. So if that holds true, I still think it was the fact that the air was getting in the shaft. So this is, you know, I guess there's some more melting down here too. That is the exhaust side down there. So I guess air comes in here, swirls around here, must have heated up, and then went on the exhaust side. So yeah, it is on the exhaust side. Nothing so much down here except for metal. So there you go. Failure diagnostics complete. Reed, bearing, air, lean, piston melted.